There are certain actions that invalidate the prayer. So if you learn them and master them, you don't need to ask, Sheikh, I did this, I did that. Would that invalidate my prayer? If you master these, alhamdulillah. So what are the things that invalidate my prayer? Number one, to break my wudu. Because one of the conditions of salat is to be in the state of purity. So if a person urinates, defecates, passes wind, etc., invalidates his wudu, then his prayer is invalid. Imagine someone in prostration and he takes a nap, he sleeps, wakes up after 5-7 minutes and says, whoops, I took a nap. Yeah, your prayer is invalid, akhi, because you broke your wudu. Number two, to be in touch with an impurity, an impure substance. So if it comes in contact with a worshipper and he's aware of it, this invalidates his prayer unless he removes it. So for example, while praying, I remember that I have an impurity on my headgear. So I immediately take it off and throw it away and continue to pray. Your prayer is valid. But if the impurity is in my underwear, I can't take those off while praying. So I have to break my prayer and remove it and purify myself and go and establish a prayer once again. Number three, to expose or to uncover the awrah deliberately. So a woman, while praying, takes off her scarf, fixes her hair, puts her scarf again, and continues to pray. No, you've exposed your awrah deliberately. Someone taking off his waist wrapper and his awrah is exposed deliberately. Your prayer is invalid. Number four, to give your back to the qibla deliberately. And we spoke about movement and turning away from the qibla. This breaks your prayer. Number five, to speak deliberately. So while in prayer, someone says to you, where did you put my wallet? And you said, it's on the table there. And you continue to pray. This breaks your prayer because Allah Azza wa Jal ordered us in the Quran by saying, and stand before Allah devoutly obedient. And this ayah was revealed at a time when the companions used to communicate during prayer. So while in prayer, one would ask the one next to him, so what happened yesterday? So are you coming to lunch today? That was normal until this ayah was revealed. The companions say, so we were ordered to be silent and not to speak while in prayer. Number six, to laugh out loudly. So if someone laughs out loudly during prayer, the consensus of scholars that this invalidates his prayer. Number seven, among the things that invalidate a person's prayer, whether a man or a woman, is for a woman to pass in front of the worshipper, or a dog or a black dog would walk between the prostration spot and the standing position of an individual. The Prophet said, alayhi salam, when one of you stands to pray, he will be screened if he has something in front of him that is like the back of a saddle. If he does not have something in front of him that is like the back of a saddle, which means that is this height, then his prayer will be interrupted. If a donkey, a woman, or a black dog passes in front of him. And this hadith was narrated by Imam Muslim. Now, I know that many people would say, whoa, you're resembling women to dogs and donkeys? I said, no, I'm not. This is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is part of worshiping Allah without asking for justification or a legitimate reason. We comply without arguing. And this invalidates the prayer of a man praying or even a woman. So if a sister passes in front of her mom or her sister, between her prostration position and standing position, this invalidates her prayer. Number 8, to abandon one of the pillars, to omit an essential part or condition or obligatory part of the prayer deliberately without any excuse. And we spoke about this before when we talked about the pillars and the obligatory actions. Number 9, to eat or drink deliberately. Ibn al-Mundhir reported the consensus of scholars that whoever drinks or eats during his fard prayer deliberately and intentionally, that his prayer is invalid and he has to repeat that all over again. Number 10, deliberately adding a pillar or putting a pillar in the position of another pillar. So someone adding a 5th rak'ah in dhuhr deliberately, or prostrating before doing ruku' deliberately. This invalidates the prayer. Number 11, canceling the intention. And this has to have the firm intention to leave the prayer, not an intrusive thought that comes to your head while praying saying, oh, I think I'm gonna leave prayer to do this and that. It's an intrusive thought. No, we're talking about a sincere, firm intention to leave the prayer and to break it. This invalidates the prayer. Now, when we talked about laughing, that breaks a prayer, laughing, as scholars divide it into categories or levels. Level 1 is just to smile. So someone is praying and then he does this. This does not invalidate his prayer. Laughing out loud, this breaks the prayer without any doubt. Especially that type of laughing where you have these loud voices, because this shows that you're playing around with the salat and this defies the purpose of salat. So someone says, ha ha ha, makes a sound. Number 4, laughing that is in between. It's not audible and it's not smiling. The majority of scholars say that this invalidates the prayer if 1 or 2 letters have been uttered. So these type of sounds would invalidate your prayer. Even if you don't make a sound, if you start shaking your shoulders, this invalidates your prayer, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. What's the ruling on fixing one's clothes? What do we mean by that? See, in prayer, sometimes when we want to go for sujood, if you're wearing trousers or pants, sometimes you have to lift it a little bit so that it doesn't become so tight on your thigh. So you just lift it a little bit, and when you stand up, you may fix your blouse or your t-shirt or your shirt. Sometimes we fix our head gear when we stand up or before going to ruku' and do this. So this movement is not plenty or a lot, yet it is movement. So would it impact the prayer? The answer is no. As long as there is a need for it, there's no problem in that. What about the schools of thought that say 3 movements in the salat breaks it? The answer is this is baseless. So this has no foundation neither in the Quran nor in the Sunnah. And the doing of the Prophet ﷺ certainly confirms that this is baseless. Because we know that he used to pray, as in one authentic hadith, carrying his granddaughter, Umama bint Abil As, the daughter of his daughter Zainab, may Allah be pleased with her. And whenever he went for ruku' or sujood, he would place her on the ground. And whenever he stood up, he would pick her up and pray while carrying her. And this is movement more than 3 times. So this is baseless, and there's nothing wrong in that, inshallah. This goes against those who are preoccupied in unnecessary movement. So there are people who have a mental disorder. Sometimes they're not aware of it. So throughout the prayer, the whole 4 rak'ahs, all what they do is this. And I've seen many people do this and do this, do this, do this. Some of them just keep on scratching as if they have skin disease. And this stops only when he offers the second salam to the left, it's gone. But it comes when he's in prayer. So such possession, such illness, if it's uncontrollable, this person is exempted. But if it is within his powers to stop and doesn't stop it, it may impact and nullify his prayer. If a person forgets to say Ameen in Salat, whether it's fard or voluntary, should he offer Sujood al-Sahu? The answer is, Sujood al-Sahu is when you forget something that is a pillar or mandatory. Saying Ameen is neither. So if I intentionally said غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد, I did not say Ameen intentionally. I've done something wrong and inappropriate because it's against the Sunnah. But does it impact my prayer? Do I have to offer Sujood al-Sahw for that? The answer is no. What's the ruling on suppressing the urge to pass wind during Salah? Is my Salah valid if I succeed in suppressing it, or do I have to make a new wudu and pray again? Wudu is nullified if the things that we were told in the Quran and the Sunnah exist, such as defecating, urinating, passing of wind, sleeping, deep sleep, or eating camel's meat. So if a person feels the movement inside of his stomach and has the urge to pass wind, but he doesn't, he suppresses it, whether before Salat or during Salat. In this case, his wudu is intact. It cannot be broken until he passes wind. And if he does not pass wind, then his wudu is totally valid and intact, and there's nothing needed for him to do, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. He says, if I make a mistake in pronouncing a letter, would that invalidate my Fatiha and my rak'ah, hence my Salah? This is something that you have to go to an Arab Imam in the masjid and explain to him by reciting it to him. And he would tell you whether this changes the meaning or not, whether you're able to say it or not, and whether this invalidates your prayer or not. If I do not pray Salah while fasting, are my fasts valid? This is an issue that we spoke about a lot, stating that these are 2 different things. If you don't pray at all, then you're not a Muslim. You're a disbeliever. A person who does not pray a single prayer, period. He's not a Muslim because he falls under the category of the hadith, the oath that's between us and them, or the pledge that's between us and them is prayer. Whoever abandons prayer is a kafir. But if a person prays on and off, we do not come to him and say, Akhi, don't fast. No, keep on fasting, hoping that he would continue to do that afterwards. And Allah